Hello there, and welcome to episode 13 of the Holocron-Cast. I'm here today, as with always, my Sith Holocron, Dan. How you doing today, Dan?
First episode of 2020.
Woo! And of course, it's me, your Jedi Holocron, Tyler. We're back, 2020. We've kind of been on a break since the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks of December, we were pretty much
On a break.
away.
Between our hectic life schedules of you almost dying in a no, not really. You had surgery.
I almost imploded.
And then me recovering from 60-hour work weeks plus the holiday. We just didn't record for a while. But we're back.
Need to take some personal time every now and again, you know?
And we have big plans for 2020, Dan.
The big year.
2020. We're trying to do 2 videos a week. Every week.
We're going to see how long we can go before that starts to fail.
Yes, we're going to do 2 videos a week. The Holocron-Cast will be every Thursday. Don't know. No particular time, but Thursday. And then we'll have a random video every Tuesday. Either gaming, a fun top 10 list, something more concise and... Well, not concise necessarily if it's a gaming. I think those might be big.
Yeah, those could be long.
We might even do reviews of fast food restaurants, you know? We'll just see how it goes. The quesalupa might come back at Taco Bell and we might be like, let's go get that and review it. It's been a while.
Thursdays are for our,
the main show.
The long-form main show. Tuesdays are where it's just like, hey, this is kind of what I feel like doing this week.
Yeah, mixed bag. We will have our first Tuesday video coming next Tuesday. Yes. Little hint, it's a top 10 list, and I think you'll really gonna like it.
It may be related to
Star
recent
Wars
things.
Is it about the new Star Wars? I don't know what I was gonna say.
Is it about the new
Hope?
Yes. The New Hope.
Yes. Huh?
No.
What? Where are we?
What?
This is a podcast.
Yeah, hold on.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Coming Tuesday. What? Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Just so. We have a lot on the docket today.
We have a lot of stuff we want to do in the future.
Yes.
On the horizon.
Some say Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. I mean, some
This
do.
is now a PlayStation podcast. What is up, everybody? We're going to be reviewing Horizon Zero Dawn today.
I thought our next podcast was going to be the Barney podcast.
Is Barney back? Is that still on?
I'm sure.
The reruns? I don't know.
I'm sure. Well, we have a lot of seasons to catch up on with Barney anyway.
He is a dinosaur from our imagination, so
he's a friendly.
If he's from our imagination, he's always on. You know what I mean?
Can we do Barney the Friendly Purple Dinosaur and Clifford the Big Red Dog podcast together? Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that.
There's a Clifford movie coming out,
like
an actual
soon?
theater release this year.
Really?
Apparently, it looks horrifying. Just based on something. The one time I heard of it, I haven't seen it.
Does it look like Cats?
I hope not.
I hope so.
Get the day 1 patch.
I want more Cats.
No, we haven't even seen Cats.
But I want to.
I know. I do actually want to, just for the horror show that it is. Some may say it's the best horror movie of 2019.
I would agree.
Okay, but we got a lot of big show planned for you today. We're going to talk about
many things.
2020, the future of Star Wars, what we got coming this year. We're going to talk about Rise of Skywalker some more.
Yes.
Because we have to. A lot to talk about. And of course, we're going to do our season... I almost said season 8 again. Our season 1 review of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
And of course, we have some new bits for the show we're going to do, and we'll get to them when we get to them.
They may not have names, clever names yet, but they will eventually.
Yes. Hey, Dan. Let's start off Rise of Skywalker.
That's the simplest one to start off with.
Well, the big topic will be the middle of the show.
Yeah.
And then we'll end with the other stuff.
With little stuff. Littler.
But Rise of Skywalker. It's been... It's been... we haven't talked about it on this channel for a while. I mean, we've talked about it a lot together, but... It's been
a couple of weeks.
2-3 weeks since the movie came out.
Yeah, I think so.
And we've both seen it 3 times.
Yes.
I think. I don't know if you've seen it more than 3 times.
No, just 3.
And as of now, how do you feel about the Rise of Skywalker? The 9th movie in the Star Wars trilogy of franchises. I don't know if what I just said made sense, but...
I know a lot of the problems. I understand a lot of the problems, but I like it better with each watch of it.
Better, you say?
Mostly just because a lot of the quote-unquote changes or retcons or whatever you want to call them, I honestly like a lot of the new decisions better.
Such as?
Like, I like, we had the discussion off air about how, like, obviously, yes, Rey clone would have been the best, or, like, Rey Force Child is that big part of that theory, but I prefer her being a Palpatine to being no one. Like, just being from random drunk traders.
No, I'm the complete opposite.
That would be my bottom pick for any Rey theory. Like, I'd rather her be related to literally anyone else.
No, I like the idea of her being no one, though.
I just don't like the speed of how quick she gets strong. Anyone can get strong, but when you get strong for no reason out of nowhere...
But doesn't she...
Without a logical explanation...
The Force. That's all the explanation you need.
Then why isn't she a Force child?
That's I don't. The thing is, I don't like the argument in Star Wars because the Force makes everyone strong.
Well, no, because the thing is her being strong enough to do everything she does in the speed that she does.
Is it really about being strong, or is it just about having the knowledge to do what she needs to do? Because do you really have to be that strong to use the Force productively? Like, for God's sakes, Kit Fisto was a Jedi. That guy's a clown.
Exactly, and he's someone who trained his whole life, so
and he was still a clown.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's why it seems worse when someone comes out of nowhere and is just omega powerful for no reason.
She's connected to Kylo. They're a dyad.
I'm aware, but I still would. I'm just saying I would prefer her being related to anyone over being no one.
See, this is the thing I hate the most about this movie. Her being a Palpatine. It ruins her character because one thing I'm getting sick of in Star Wars currently is how everybody has to be tied to somebody. Like, let these new characters be their own character. Like, okay, we got Ben Solo. That's good. We got someone from the Skywalkers. But, like, trying to tie Rey to Leia and Luke, which is fine. They trained her for the most part. I get that. But, like, we don't need to associate her power or her being strong in the Force to Palpatine. She can be strong in the Force, but, like, it doesn't have to be. I don't like Palpatine. Clone theory I like best.
Yes.
Then no one, then literally anything else but Palpatine last. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
See, out of her being related to anyone, Palpatine is honestly up there for me for who I would prefer for her to be related to.
I like the idea of her being Empress, like Palpatine. That'd be funny. Like, her taking the Dark Throne.
See, my thing is that...
the only thing... I do like the anger part of it, how she more fed into the dark side, but, like, I don't like how everybody has to be tied to someone in Star Wars. Otherwise, Star Wars will never grow.
Well, my thing is that then, if she wasn't going to be related to anyone, then we needed more time between movies for her to train.
I guess, but...
I just don't like the power coming out of nowhere in the span of, a couple weeks, a couple days between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and then just 1 year between Last Jedi and Rise.
But isn't that the same with Luke, though?
But Luke is related to the Chosen One. That's what I'm saying. But his power has a lore explanation, so Rey, I would want to have a lore explanation for her power as well. But the Force
belongs to everybody.
Yes, but just immediately being super powerful for no reason.
Why do you need a reason to be powerful? It's the Force.
Because that's the laws of the universe. That's how every other character has been. Everyone needs a reason to that degree. Otherwise, I would prefer it if she was not related to Kenobi, but if she was like Kenobi, where she just trained her ass off for 5 years or whatever.
Well, you don't need to. How hard do you have to train to be powerful in the Force? But to be fair, in 9, she still couldn't connect to the former Jedi. It took her she's still not super strong in the Force.
I mean,
she's a good fighter because she was a scavenger in Jakku her whole life.
I mean, but she's not weak with the Force. It takes a really strong Force user to use a mind trick.
Yeah, but also
that's like high tier.
Also, you have to, but like midichlorians, that goes back to midichlorians. You know, she has high midichlorians, so she can so it works for her right away.
I'm just saying it's to such an extreme degree that I would have rather time.
I don't think it's extreme
to gestate.
Because like Anakin, it's the same way.
But he's a Force child. Yeah. He literally doesn't have a dad because his dad is the Force.
I don't know. I just think when you're involved in the Force, you should never have a problem with how powerful someone is ever with the Force.
The problem with that then is that then it's just like, well, why is no one else been?
Like Kanan was blind, and it took him like 3 days to be great with the Force while blind.
But he was also already training for his entire life.
But he was blind. That's a new feat. He conquered that like that.
Because he had the Bendu helping him.
Exactly.
Because he had a good teacher. Plus the Force... Luke's literal first lesson was to put a blast shield in front of his face and not be able to see while blocking. They learn a lot about not using their eyes.
Yes, and how did Rey do with that in this movie? Not very well.
Poorly.
Exactly, so she's not as strong as everyone gives her credit for.
She's still really strong, though.
Yeah, the Force is strong and with her.
Exactly.
So just because you're strong with the Force doesn't mean you're a great Force user. Like, you still have to train to use it well, but just because you... Like, what... Like, she holds her own against Kylo first fight. But granted, in The Force Awakens, we saw 40 people get hit by Chewie's blaster bolt and die.
No, I don't have
with earmark, and she gets... And she fights Kylo, who tanked blaster bolt. And so that makes sense. She's really not that... She only takes out one Praetorian Guard in the Praetorian Guard fight, like 2 of them. Kylo takes out the other 5. And then in the fight on Endor, she only wins because of Leia. So, quote-unquote, wins.
Quote-unquote wins.
Because they were both, you know...
Well, it's just how much they talk about how, like, potent she is with the Force.
Do they talk about how potent she is, though?
That's what Snoke, the whole thing, was talking about. How good she is with the Force, how strong she is. She was too strong for Kylo to mind probe.
Has nothing to do with her powers. Like, you don't train to be... You don't go under training to resist mind probes. That's the Force.
Well, yeah, that is the Force, but I just mean in general. They constantly talk about how strong she is with the Force.
Yeah, she's strong with the Force.
Yeah.
You don't have to train to be strong with the Force. You need to be trained to control it.
But it's also then... Kylo also has the line in The Force Awakens where he says she's getting stronger with every moment of how she's sneaking through the facility. Mm-hmm. And getting better at using it.
Yeah.
I think it's just too fast. I would be okay with her being known if we just had time between movies.
But I don't think she increases that much between movies.
I would say she's significantly stronger in 9.
But that's a year of training.
And that's still not really that much.
Last job you had, Dan, how long did you get trained for?
That's not training to be a space wizard. That's training to slice meat.
At my job, they give you 2 days and they expect you to be a god. So sometimes you just gotta adjust. Maybe she's good at that. I just think we hold Rey to this unridiculous standard of
I would hold everyone to that standard. All the main characters I would hold to that standard. They need to have a logic behind them. If they have no training, is my problem.
But when does she fail? Like, when does she use her Force training when she doesn't have to? What forcing does she use that she needs training for that's so hard to do?
Mind trick. And she does that immediately.
Okay, that's one.
And it's not necessarily any specific power, it's just how much they, like, hype how strong she is, essentially. The way they talk about her.
It's just like Anakin, though.
And Anakin has an explanation for his power, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but why does she have to be from a family that we've already met to...
That's what I'm saying. I would prefer her being...
Other families can have, like, those 2 junk traders, she could be from 2 junk traders, no one we know. But those people could have a great Force lineage that no one knows about.
But that's what I'm saying is...
Why do we have to know that she was from a Palpatine, a Skywalker, a Kenobi?
But I'm saying I would have preferred for her to be a Force child.
Well, yeah, Force child, just literally junk traders who had who were Force sensitive that didn't use the Force. Like, just because anytime you get into the Force, I think all Mary Sue arguments go out the window, because I think Luke literally learns like that. He doesn't even complete his training and he goes and fights Vader.
My only problem is just the speed. Is my only problem.
It's the exact same as Luke, though.
But Luke is also Vader's not trying to kill him.
Huh?
Vader's not trying to kill Luke.
Yeah. And he still barely holds his own.
Exactly.
Maybe, I don't know. I just think people are too hard on Rey for that reason.
Well,
like,
it just should have been Force Child. That we can agree on.
And also, you know, we all know that if she was a man, people wouldn't be complaining.
I would.
I hope so.
I'd be complaining no matter what. For me, it's just they need training.
I think training's overrated.
They need training or to be a Force Child or related to a Force Child. For just that level of extremity.
All the Jedi live in her now, Dan.
Yeah, by the end, but you said yourself in the beginning they don't, because she couldn't even talk to him.
Exactly, and she wasn't that strong.
She was still pretty strong.
Every time she used the Force with Kylo, they just broke things. Lightsabers, command shuttles, transport shuttles.
Yeah, then that's because they're equals.
Yes. A dyad in the Force.
A dyad.
I think that works as a better explanation than Palpatine.
I wouldn't... The dyad I know the relationship makes perfect sense, but the dyad just, kind of came out of nowhere, I feel.
Yeah?
I love their connection. It just seems to, hit you out of nowhere that they're like, oh, this is, a big deal.
Well, it's pretty obvious through the first...
right at the end.
Through the whole franchise that they're connected in some way.
Oh, no, yeah, but it just seems
just
funny.
From the fact that...
It just seems funny to me that they know that, they just know the term in this one.
No. Well, Palpatine says the term.
Kylo's the first one to say it. Because
he learned it from Palpatine. And he didn't show up till this movie, so... That's when he told...
Did he learn it from Palpatine?
Yeah.
No, he didn't, because he said Palpatine doesn't know that we're a dyad in the Force.
No.
Because then Palpatine's shocked when he gets revived from it.
The real problem is they're not a triad in the Force. Yeah, I just don't like... I hate that so much.
We'll have to agree to disagree, then.
I just think, I just think people just... I'm not saying it's perfect, the way her character was done, or, the Force thing was, done, perfectly well. Obviously, there needs to be a little explanation, but, I just think she's held to, some ridiculous standard.
For some people,
just
yeah.
like the whole, we're not going to talk about it on the show, but you know how the whole John Boyega thing that happened on Twitter over New Year's?
Yeah.
If Kelly Marie Tran did that when she was abused more and probably had worse experience with the franchise, said the things made sexual innuendos about her co-star or character on the show and weird stuff, she'd be fucking ridiculed all hell.
Well, yeah.
Then John Boyega's like, woo, this guy! What a legend! Not that I have a problem either way. I'm just saying, I think we're holding people to different standards, and it's annoying.
Yeah. See, I think anybody should be allowed to say anything about their characters, as long as they're not talking about the actors.
Right. I don't like holding people to different standards, just because, I don't know.
I mean, if there's one thing we've learned, it's that 90% of Star Wars fans are incels.
Yes, I fucking hate Star Wars fans. What else? Well, I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, what's the next topic for this film? We should.
Well, we were talking about. Well, we started asking, what do you think of it now after being so removed and seeing it multiple times? I like it less every time. I don't like it. I like the movie. I enjoy it. The more I watch it, the more I think about certain aspects, the less I like a lot of parts of the movie. But I still love the last hour, to all heavens.
Yeah.
No matter, people may be, upset about how a lot of characters, Finn, Rose, Poe, underutilized, underdeveloped, have slow arcs, but at the end of the day, the only thing in the sequel trilogy that matters was Rey and Kylo.
Yeah.
Adam Driver single-handedly carrying the franchise on his back, and then just their connection. We've never seen anything like that in Star Wars, and I love it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's things I change.
Well, of course.
But, also, 2 movies. Give me episode 10. End it at 110. and also like make this movie 3 fucking hours.
The biggest the biggest problem is just how fast it is. There's no time to let any emotion set in.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was a big problem. Like every time
it is just
you don't
fire.
Believe anything, especially after the Chewie thing.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe anything after, especially at the pace it's going.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like the film a lot.
Like, imagine if it, say, like, this was, like, a 3-hour movie, and the Chewbacca scene was, like, early, and they didn't reveal him being alive until, like, 30 minutes later.
Right.
So it, like, really sets in.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of people walk out of the theater for it, and then they read online that he's actually alive, and then they get really mad.
Yeah. This movie does a lot of weird things. Like, why?
Yeah.
I think that's... Like, I love that moment because Rey's reaction.
Yeah, it's
so,
a good...
Like, her, like... Just how high her voice gets and how she's so terrified of herself and like what she might have just done or what she did.
Out.
But yeah, and then that's the same like C-3PO. Like,
yeah,
why
bother with the memory loss?
Why bother if you're just gonna give it to him back? Like, and especially in the trailers they sold us this big emotional moment in the film.
Yeah,
like,
and it just doesn't.
Yeah,
the cop out honestly, is the. But to be
I
fair,
think this whole movie's kind of a cop out in a way.
It has a lot of cop-out parts. I wouldn't say the thing as a whole, though.
Palpatine coming back makes sense, but in a way it's kind of a cop-out. Mainly because they didn't have a plan.
I have to know more about it.
Yeah.
I have to know more about the lore.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't know enough.
Before we can decide.
They give us all this information, and it's helpful, but it's also not really helpful.
Well, it seems funny that, like, obviously, yeah, they didn't have a plan, but there are, like, they use Palpatine's theme so much in the previous 2 movies.
Oh, no, it's not surprised that he came back. Like, it makes sense, but I feel like they didn't use him the best way they should have.
Oh, absolutely not.
I've seen this argument a lot on Twitter, and I kind of agree with it. They took almost everything that happened. JJ took, like, the least interesting thing that could come from it, like her being a Palpatine granddaughter. That's the least interesting thing. Not the least, but it's pretty low down there. Like clone, even another explanation. Like even if it was just like if they really wanted to commit to the dyad, they could have committed to the triad and like do like the mother, father, daughter thing. Especially if you need him to be related to Palpatine, her really related to Palpatine. Yeah, that at least sells that better because and then there's a whole weird thing where it's like, oh, Rey's a Palpatine and Anakin might have been created by Palpatine, and it's like that would make sense for their connection, and the Snoke bridged their minds that they both come from Palpatine creating the dyad, but they just decided to do triad, but they do a dyad. I don't know. I feel like
also that makes them vaguely related.
Yeah. Which doesn't, but then again...
That's Star Wars.
Incest and Star Wars.
Incest and Star Wars go together like peanut butter and chocolate.
Right. And so it was just a kiss. It's not like they fucked or anything.
Yeah, it's not like they're making a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. However, I also feel like you can put a lot of blame for that on Disney as well.
Oh, yeah.
The safest choice is obviously JJ is still at fault for a lot of it, but I feel like also Disney.
I think his hands were tied to a lot. Like, I think they forced a lot on him.
I think Disney was very much like, okay, Last Jedi divided the fan base.
But then again, like...
It split the incels from the sane people.
Was it really divided, though, or was it just the incels who were really mad?
It was... Like, it wasn't like 50-50, but it was...
But the people who were really mad were just...
But it was a sizable amount of people. It was not like a... It wasn't like a normal vocal minority where it's like 10%. This was like quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, but like...
But that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Everyone who talks about Star Wars is pissed at everything.
Right? That's like what I'm saying. You don't try to appeal to everyone at the cost of making a great movie. People are always going to hate your movie, especially in Star Wars.
Especially in Star Wars.
Like, that's why I think... As much as I love the sequel trilogy, and I love Rey, and I love Kylo, I love Finn, I love Poe, those 2 characters specifically need more love, just more.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm kind of excited for them to move on from it, even though I want to see more of Rey, especially by the end of this movie with her new lightsaber and everything.
They just need to give it some years.
Because I think they realized after The Mandalorian that Filoni and Favreau are the future of Star Wars.
Yes.
And they got Feige coming in to do something, I think, too. Like, give Taika Waititi a Star Wars movie.
Also, I'm still of the opinion that I just think once they move away from the Skywalker saga, the incels will just back down.
Right.
Because then they just won't care.
Yeah. They really won't.
Because the only thing they care about is 4 and 5. That is it.
And then at that point, like...
You're a fan of 2 movies, not a Star Wars fan, honestly.
Yeah, they're appealing to fans who dislike most of Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So they made a movie that was trying to appeal to everyone and probably just really appealed to no one. I actually like this movie.
Yes.
I like all the Star Wars movies except 10. I mean, not 10. Episode
10.
1.
I like all of them except for the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah, that one too. Like...
But it has a lot of problems.
Oh, tons of problems.
Honestly, the topic that I want to discuss that you mentioned, Poe and Finn. They get to do pretty much jack all in this movie.
Poe
gets
stuff.
Poe gets development. Finn does literally nothing this
for the
whole
last
movie.
2 movies, really.
Yeah, for the last 2 movies.
To be fair, I enjoyed his character development in the second one, in The Last Jedi. I like the idea of them failing, but like...
Yeah, but I also just feel like his arc in Last Jedi is just a repeat of his Force Awakens arc.
His arc is yelling Rey louder and louder and louder.
Well, because his
Do you know how he learned how to yell louder? In between the ER, him and Rose, after her recovering, they practice yelling Rey. They're like, okay, your turn. Rey! And they just took turns yelling Rey, so he'd be ready for this movie.
Like in Force Awakens, it was like him learning not to run away and to not be scared. Last Jedi was more of him like committing to the resistance.
To running away?
Running away and then eventually, kind of committing to the resistance and sneaking aboard the Supremacy. Mm-hmm. And then this one, he just screams Rey, and that's it.
Yeah. But he's Force sensitive.
I really like that. I want to explore that more. Because remember when he was advertised as like the protagonist for Force Awakens? That'd be cool to see him be like her apprentice. Like Rey's first apprentice would be like Finn.
Yes, because they should definitely not date.
No.
Nobody in this trilogy really should date each other, except Zori Bliss and Poe. They deserve to be
Finn
happy.
and Poe.
Finn and Poe, yeah, right? How did they fuck that up? How did they
fuck
fucking
that up?
Disney? See, I like Poe going at Oscar Isaac going at calling Disney out.
It was literally the perfect moment when they saw each other and like pointed at each other and ran up and hugged. It was perfect moment, big,
Yeah, like one of the best parts of this movie was like where they were talking about I need you to be general with me or whatever. Like,
yeah,
that was a great. They have such a good interaction. Like
their chemistry is so great. Like even though neither of them do much like plot relevant wise, I know Poe has the whole thing with Kijimi, so Poe's more plot relevant and has more growth in this one. But their interactions are just so great between each other. Especially in this one.
Like, we had the perfect 2 couples, Rey and Kylo and their weird, toxic, bad, fucked up, weird, whatever relationship they have, which was never going to end well, but, like, it was interesting, to say the least.
And then the ultimate bromance.
And the ultimate... No, not bromance. Lovers.
Yeah, beyond bromance.
Beyond bromance. These people... When you have chemistry like that with someone,
you're
just meant to be with them.
You need to commit.
Right? That's just... I hate it. Why did they not do it?
Why were they not allowed?
At least it would give Poe something to do. I mean, Finn something to do.
Yeah, right.
Like, why is he still yelling after Rey? She's clearly not into it. I actually get that, though, like, running after, like, because he wants to protect her, obviously, but, like, at a certain point, like, just stop.
Well, also, they say, like, he wasn't trying to say, I love you to Rey, so is he really, like, chasing it romantically, or is it more that it's his first friend?
That's very true.
His first real friend. He had friends that were stormtroopers, but...
I get that. Yeah, see, yeah, either way.
Like, it's like he feels close to her since she's the one who basically freed him. Mm-hmm. In a way.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because they say he wasn't going to say I love you, so I feel like he's not trying to chase her, like, romantically.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Maybe a little bit, but I don't think that's his sole reason. I think it's more that it's his friend.
Yeah.
His first friend. At the age of upper 20s.
Upper 20s.
I don't remember.
Chasing after the 19-year-old magic girl.
Well, to be fair, Kylo's 30.
I know.
Same age gap as Han and Leia. Rey's 19. Kylo's 30.
I don't know. Rey and Kylo are very Han and Leia, though, in a way.
No, absolutely. Well, yeah, it even goes right down to the age.
Even the fact that they're Han and Leia's son, and like she's Leia's adoptive daughter.
And Leia's like, Leia knew she had to go in for that incest, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Leia's the master of that.
Oh God. Yeah. What were we talking about? Finn and Poe.
Finn and Poe not being able to do much.
Yeah, they
just had I like seeing the trio together because that really hasn't been a thing this trilogy.
Yeah. But
I just wish there was more that they could have actually, or for Finn specifically, more that he could have actually done. He just followed Poe and screamed Rey, and that was it. And he had his little mission on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, which was obviously the best part for him of the movie. He actually
got to do something.
And, I liked the idea of him meeting other stormtroopers, but also other defected stormtroopers and finding more found family in that respect. But we definitely don't have time to explore that in this movie.
Yeah,
and as cool as Johanna is, she's so pointless.
Yeah,
I like her. She's cool. Crossbow, bow and arrow, whatever she
bow and arrow.
I always get those
horses.
But she's cool, but
we already don't have time.
I don't get the idea of promoting them so hard, and being
Zori. I get because she at least was more relevant to the plot.
Yeah, she was the best new character.
Jana just kind of showed up and was just there. She didn't do much really.
That would be cool.
Yeah, great concept. I would love to explore it more, but in a movie where we don't have time for anything, introducing a new character plot line into this.
Of anybody from this trilogy to get a Disney Plus show, her.
Yeah,
definitely, especially with the First Order,
exploring that,
and then just wherever being.
I want to see that mutiny because she said the whole company laid down their arms.
Yeah,
that's a lot of Force-sensitive people.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that's the implication, is that they're Force-sensitive.
Who, Johanna?
The stormtroopers that broke free of the mind control.
Oh, because that's how you break free.
Force-sensitive people are very resistant to mind probing naturally.
Yeah. So Rey was. That's why Rey was.
That's why I didn't say that was a problem for Rey. I was talking about mind tricking, not mind probing.
I was trying to get you, but
because it goes back to Leia. Leia always resisted mind probing in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Vader brought the truth serum and it did nothing. Well, she resisted it. I don't know if it did nothing.
Yeah.
She didn't tell him where the base was. It probably hurt.
Yeah.
But so it's I like that whole. I want to see the mutiny. Okay, my screen turned off. I was worried for a second. I want to see more of the mutiny because that'd be cool, and then just seeing what happens after.
Yeah, Johanna's interesting. I want to see Johanna, and then we got Zori Bliss. Zori Bliss is she was the best new character in this movie, mainly because she's connected to one of the best characters of all time in Star Wars, Babu Freak.
I love her interactions with Poe.
Yeah.
Poe just has the best interactions in this movie, other than Rey and Kylo.
Even Poe and Rey is when they're talking about the Falcon.
Yeah, when they're angry at each other or pouty at each other.
It's not surprising though that Oscar Isaac literally has chemistry
with
everybody.
I still love his moment when he sees Zori Bliss and is waving at the helmet. Come on. Yeah. They had a lot of good interactions. Yeah, I like Babu Freak.
Babu. Yeah.
I do really like the and a big problem I have still is that we really would need in an extended edition. I want to see more of the fucking space battle, or not space battle, but the fight against the Final Order.
Yeah,
it's just we see.
I want to see
Rey,
who's in all those ships, the Ghost and the.
Yeah, that too, but then also we see Rey reflect the lightning at Palpatine, and Palpatine evaporates, and then it's just the whole Final Order is just gone. What? I want to see the fight. I feel like I got blue balled kinda.
You got blue balled you wanted to see the fight, but then the fight we really wanted to see, you really didn't get a fight either.
Yeah, exactly. The two final fights, the final space fight and the final ground fight, just didn't. Palpatine just did one move. The fleet just vanished.
Once Palpatine got his powers back, he should have fought Rey and Kylo and just pulled out his two double-bladed lightsabers.
Brought his lightsabers back.
Rey and Ben. I need to stop calling him Kylo because he's not Kylo.
At that point, especially.
Yeah, but that would have been badass.
That would have been fucking awesome.
While the Sith armies around him just being
cheering,
the Sith weird
the
thing.
cultists.
Yeah, the cultists.
The Sith Eternal. Yeah, like, that's what we were missing, was this. Because Ben and Rey come together, and they have the, Rey has Leia's saber, Kylo has his family saber. I wanted to see them fighting together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, also just seeing Palpatine with the double sabers would have been,
Yeah, because everything with Ben and Rey on Exegol was fucking awesome. But
yes.
it was just like, except a few things we would change, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that, a better fight.
Yeah.
I still wish if it was clone, like I've said this a million times on this podcast by now, Dark Rey as the embodiment for Palpatine versus fucking Rey and Kylo would have been the most badass shit in the world.
That would have been amazing.
But just the fact that we get Ben Solo, in general, is the best.
It is pretty good. The most redeeming quality of this whole movie.
The most redeeming quality of this trilogy, Adam Driver.
Yes.
With a close second to my girl Daisy Ridley.
But just Ben Solo as a whole is just the biggest redeeming quality to this movie because he's so amazing.
This may be a hot take. I think Ben Solo might be the best character in Star Wars. The most interesting. Obviously, we can't explore him as much as we like to anymore. He should. Yeah. I know both of us wish he would have lived.
I get the symbology of it. It's the end of the Skywalker saga. The Skywalker lineage is gone, and
which is in a way nice because people can't keep so we can move on.
Yeah,
but also I want more Ben.
But and then also I also get the idea that it's Ben really did get to do what Anakin never could to save the person he cared about.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It all makes sense poetically. But you give us this amazing character and then kill him, right after he's...
Well, he was amazing when he was Kylo, but
yeah, he was amazing when he was Kylo. He's always been amazing, but Ben is just so fascinating, and I wanted to see him, dealing with all the horrible things he's done.
I think we'll get a lot of prequel stuff with him.
Oh, absolutely.
But also,
But, I want to see...
But to be fair, also, I don't think Adam Driver would want to do another Star Wars movie.
No, yeah, definitely.
He's too big time. He even said that after the movie. He's like, it was a great experience, one I'll cherish forever, but I don't see myself coming back to this.
Yeah, for sure.
On the other hand, when Daisy Ridley's film career is not probably doing as well as it should be in a few years, she'll be like, let's go back to Star Wars. But I think she'll have a good film career. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Ben, I loved everything at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything with him on Exegol is phenomenal.
The lightsaber toss. Baby.
The lightsaber pass. The force pass.
The force pass. I had
the Knights of Ren also were pretty just...
Yeah, but we didn't really have high expectations.
Yeah, we didn't have high expectations for them, but... You set them up since Force Awakens, and they don't even have any speaking lines.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Well, there's one thing I want to talk about continuing with the Rise of Skywalker, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But what were we talking about before we went into? Well, we're talking about Ben, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben.
And the disappointment of not having any fights at the end.
Yeah, that is a crime.
The Final Order is set up, we see all these wide-angle shots of, the Final Order is just, an endless row of Star Destroyers. And they're just gone in, 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
What happened?
A little much. Yeah.
And it would have been so cool to see, the swarms of Rebel fighters just taking them out. Because I know they said that the Star Destroyers don't have their shields up, so that's why they destroyed them so fast.
Yeah.
But there's still just so fucking many of them.
But it's...
And in Star Wars, we always get blue-balled with the space battles, because in the original trilogy, there was, obviously, effect, wasn't quite there.
Mm-hmm. That's why Rogue
One had a really good space battle. The prequels had a little too CGI, but the Battle of Coruscant was awesome, and we didn't get to see much of that.
The beginning of Last Jedi was pretty good.
Yeah, but, we don't have, big space battles.
Yeah.
Battle of Coruscant is the only one we've even seen, a part of that's, a huge space battle, and that we cut out of, immediately.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see a big space battle, and then they cut away from it, and then we cut back, and they're just all gone, and everything's sunny.
Yeah.
Just really bugged me.
Yeah, it's sad.
It should have been 2 movies, and
the
second movie should have been just Exegol.
Yeah, literally Exegol. The epic space battle, and then Rey and Kylo, or Ben and Kylo. Not Ben and Kylo. Ben and Rey.
We know what you mean. Ben and Rey have an actual, lengthy fight with the Knights of Ren. Have an awesome duel with them fighting Palp. have the epic space battle, seeing everyone in their cockpits, seeing all these
who's
characters.
in the ghost? Who's in the ghost?
Get Hera, find the ghost.
And then it's like way less agonizing when we lose Ben.
Yes.
Because we have more time with him.
We have way more time with him.
Because even though he dies there, that moment at the end I love it.
Yes.
Seeing him smile for the first time is magical.
Yeah, for sure. And
just the way he holds Rey, too.
It's also just interesting because they really had kind of like the perfect cliffhanger to split it into 2 movies.
And that's Palpatine getting his power back, right? Or
well, I would say you cut it off like when
Rey's
on Act 2, probably.
Yeah.
Like after the X-Wings lifted,
and then we could and that way in the first movie we could explore how Palpatine came back more.
Yeah,
we could have more like weird stuff like Luke and Leia training.
Exactly, because
like more.
You don't need the whole like the Exegol bit is a long portion of the movie. You take that out, you can have everything else in the beginning of the movie not be so fast and actually have impact.
Yeah, because I love The Last Jedi a lot. But obviously, it taking place so close to Episode 7 causes timeline problems for everything.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, I think that movie's so good that it's worth it. But like, adjust, like make 2 more.
Yes.
You want to end the Skywalker saga. It doesn't have to be 3 trilogies. Like 3 trilogies and then the finale.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. It should have been 9 and 10. And apparently that's what the writer wanted.
Yeah, but he's also been saying a lot of dumb stuff, so who knows?
Yeah, true. But it should have been 2 films.
Yeah.
It would have been so good. You cut it off right at Exegol, explore Palpatine, explore all this stuff, give Finn something to do with the extra time that they have.
Right. Flesh out Johanna more.
Give Rose more to do.
Right.
I get, a lot of, like... I know I've seen a lot of people get mad that Rose got, like, written out, but also we just don't have fucking time for anyone.
That's true. That's... Yeah.
If it was 2 movies and she still got cut out, yeah, I'd be pissed.
But,
I get it. There's no time for side characters.
There's barely time for the main plot in this movie.
Yeah, there's barely time for the main characters.
Yeah. But also, they did her dirty.
No, yeah, they did do her dirty, but, like, I get it, Yeah. They don't have enough time.
Well, we were talking about earlier,
and her being on the Falcon would add nothing.
Yeah.
Her
being with him wouldn't have done much either.
Yeah.
But give her something better to do. Fuck the new guy. Oh,
yeah.
Let's do some whole... why does he even need to be there? That just Rose, more stuff for Rose to do.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Especially because who gives a shit about that guy?
Plus, also, Rose is the one who would know more about the Holdo maneuver. She almost got hit by it.
That's another...
The needless...
we were talking about how they were trying to so badly to cater to the people who hated The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
They really did try to go back on too many things. A few, not a ton, but I feel...
I still feel like there's not that many.
I feel like the Luke line is a backhanded comment at them. About the Luke throwing the lightsaber.
But I could also see that being more of that now he actually cares about the Jedi again, though.
Yeah, but also
because the whole point in Last Jedi is that he hates the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then by the end he says, "I won't be the last Jedi," so he's come back. But I get it. It sounds like.
Do you know what the problem with it is? They rebuilt Luke's lightsaber.
Yes.
Well, the past died.
Yes.
I don't Yeah.
I don't think that, I get both sides of that.
They just won't let Rey be her own character. She has to be so tied to everybody else.
I really hate rebuilding the lightsaber, honestly.
Yes. I hate it more than the mask. And I hate the mask. Mainly because it doesn't serve a purpose. I feel like that whole scene with him rebuilding the mask is a waste of time. Especially in a movie that's breakneck.
It should have... I think we talked about this off-air. It should have just been... Kylo just had the mask at the beginning of the movie. He built it in the year between 8 and 9, and he was just wearing it until Endor.
But no, he rebuilt the mask after a year without it. I need the mask now. Why? There's no plot reason. It's just I'm trying to rebuild the mistakes of... You know what I mean?
He should have just had it at the beginning.
If he had it if you would have rebuilt it, halfway, 6 months after, The Last Jedi.
Or even just like a couple weeks after when he took over, you know?
Yeah.
He smashed it because of Snoke. Now he's like, oh, I'm Supreme Leader now, so I want the fucking mask back. It's my goddamn mask. I'll rebuild it if I want.
Well, literally, they rebuilt it.
In the movie that he then got rid of it.
And then they have this thing like, oh, like Hux is like, doesn't like you don't like the mask. I'm like, nobody likes that you put the mask back on it. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It serves only to satisfy people who are, like, you know what I mean? Like, who does it? I hate it so much. I hate it.
But yeah, I only have a problem with it because he rebuilt it in this one.
Yeah. Like, if he doesn't rebuild in this one, no problem at all.
Yeah, but
It makes sense because Snoke told him to do the mask, and he's like, I killed Snoke, I'm going to be who I want to be.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
It's not what happened. It should have just been he showed up with it. Like that first scene, he should have had it when they were on Mustafar.
Yeah, because the mask is cool, but...
I love the design. The red cracks look awesome. You could have.
But now that that's the legendary Kylo from Galaxy Heroes, we're about to get like... It's so weird. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's definitely a strange choice to rebuild it during the movie.
Do you know what part of the reason they might have rebuilt it is people? I don't know if this is speculation.
Toys?
That, and also so they don't have to have Adam Driver like for reshoots and stuff. So Adam Driver, busy man, hopefully winning an Oscar this year. Got snubbed on a Golden Globe Award, but like that way, like when they do reshoots, because apparently this had reshoots up until October, and then get done editing till like a week before release. Like obviously there was a lot of problems or like something going on. So like people think maybe they rebuilt the mask so that they could do Kylo stuff without him being there.
But didn't they advertise him having the mask way before that?
Yeah, he had the mask in April of Celebration.
Yeah.
So that's just a thing.
That's a theory.
But also people who like really aren't like in the super weeds say
super deep
weeds, like who like try to like really pay attention to like Adam Driver's mannerisms and like the way he acts. Or like you could tell by the way he's acting, it's still him in the suit. So I don't know. A lot of people believe it's actually still him in the suit, but like that's just a rumor I heard on the interwebs.
Oh, that means it's true.
Yes.
But yeah.
What? How long are we? I'm just curious. I feel
47.
like okay. We might have to cut out the Mandalorian review.
Yeah.
And we'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Because I still have a lot to say about Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, for sure.
And then...
Yeah, we can cut out the Mando Season 1 review.
But I want to go back to something we were talking about earlier. Because as prepping for this episode, I made some notes like a week ago for my Rey argument we had earlier.
Okay.
This kind of... It's not really like an argument... Like, it might work against me, honestly, but another thing... Rey...
So, for anyone
Rey not being trained.
Yes, we're tying back to that.
Because, like, obviously she has some connection to the dark side.
Yes.
The thing that helps explain the dark side is easier to access. It's only harder to be trained in the Jedi ways of the Force.
Yes.
That's why people go to the dark.
Yes.
But the fact that she's so tied in the dark helps the fact that she's so easily be able to do stuff. Because it's easier to, like, as Yoda or Insidious or even George Lucas said, I forgot who said it. Like, obviously Lucas, because he's part of it, like, movies, but, like, the dark side's easy.
It's the quick and easy
It's the quick and easy way.
That's what Yoda says to Luke.
And she uses that a lot. She's not fully a Jedi till the end. You know what I mean?
Yes. But it's still, it...
Because, like, it's... When it's a bad guy using the Force super easy, he didn't train for years because it's easy to tap into the dark side of the Force. Well, and we don't need an explanation for her to have the Force, because everybody has the Force.
Yes.
And the reason she's able to tap into so powerfully because she's tapping into the dark side of the Force. Mm-hmm. We see that in episode 8 when she's fighting the Praetorian Guard. She's screaming. When she shoots the lightning.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, I get that.
That's why that's the point I forgot to bring up, which I just feel like I get it. I get why. Obviously, it would be better if she was trained more, but like I feel like it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Especially with the dark side of the Force. But she obviously is tapped into that.
Well, the other thing is that it's not like... It's not like dark side users are untrained.
Yeah, but like...
I get what you're saying.
It's easier to tap into that. Like, it's quick and easy.
Yes. I get what you're saying.
And this is a lot of this from George Lucas's Papa Lucas's mouth himself.
Yeah, but this is the same fan base that made George Lucas sell Star Wars to begin with.
Yeah.
The same people asking for him to come back are the ones who made him quit in the first place. Gee. What a surprise.
What a surprise. What a fickle beast.
The same people who were like, man, Lucas really ruined Star Wars, are the people being like, man, Disney destroyed Lucas's vision.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas's vision for the sequels was fucking terrible. I don't care what anyone says, Lucas's vision for the sequels is fucking awful.
Yeah.
The man started great things. I respect him and love him for that. Idea for the sequels, fucking awful.
The Wills.
I like the Wills, I don't like going into midichlorians.
Yeah.
The Wills are great, I like the idea of the Wills.
But, going into the midichlorians.
Going into midichlorians is abysmal. If that's actually what... That's just what I read.
No, he said that.
He did say that? Okay, I don't know.
He's like, the fans would hate it.
Yeah.
Like, he understands.
I would have hated it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Wills, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I think the Wills are actually in Clone Wars, I think. I think that's who Yoda's talking to when he's figuring out how to become a Force Ghost.
And we met the Guardians of the Wills.
We did meet the Guardians of the Wills.
Who pretty badass.
Yeah, who are pretty great.
Okay, let's talk about Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Let's talk about a lot of weird things that we don't understand fully. We need to understand better.
The biggest thing to me, and I'm sure to you as well, if Luke knew Palpatine was alive,
yes, which based on what they've told us, we have reason to believe could have been true.
Yes, it's wholly possible he was hunting Exegol just
because he
wanted to end
all the Sith.
Yeah, end the Sith altogether. He didn't know Palp was there, but there's also logic to believe that he knew Palp was there. Mm-hmm. So we're 50-50 on. We don't know if he knew Palp was still alive. And if Luke knew Palp was alive but went into hiding...
And didn't tell anybody.
And told no one...
That's damning.
That's really bad. Because
talk about character assassination.
Him going into hiding because Ben destroyed his order makes sense to me. It makes him feel more human. That he isn't just this god who will kill anything in one swing, Yeah. And it makes him have more emotion and feel more human, that he's so crushed at the death of his students that he goes into hiding. Mm-hmm. But it's a totally different beast when the Emperor is still alive and Luke does nothing about it, if he knew Palpatine was still alive. Quote unquote, because Palpatine says he's still dead.
Yeah. I feel like with the information they've given us, he had to know. I'm not saying he did, because that's damning. But I'm trying to understand. Okay, let's just try to walk through this. Luke and Lando looking for Exegol.
Yes.
I'm assuming this is pre his temple falling. When did Luke go into hiding exactly? Right after the temple fell?
I think right after the temple fell.
So
the way they presented in Last Jedi is that he woke up and the rubble was there and then he vanished.
Okay. So he was hunting for Exegol.
Probably before his school was even founded? Otherwise, why would he just disappear from the school for months with no one there to teach the kids?
And he knew Snoke was in Ben's head.
Yes.
So
that we know for a fact.
What was he was he looking for on Exegol? And why, once the trail went cold, did he stop? If he... Obviously, what is so important on Exegol that you're trying to find it, but not as important enough that you just give up when you lose the trail? Were they looking for Rey, potentially? Did they sense Rey because they were trying to hide Rey?
Here's a thought, actually, now that I think about it. What if he knows Snoke is around.
Yes.
Because he knows Snoke is in Ben's head. Mm-hmm. What if his thought process is that he thinks there may be a source of power on Exegol and he doesn't want Snoke to get it? Because if Snoke is a dark side wielder, in Luke's mind, Snoke would probably have an interest in Exegol. Because, dark side relics and shit. Mm-hmm. So maybe that could be why he was looking for Exegol?
That would make sense.
And then maybe he dropped the trail because it was just an insurance policy. It's not actually there's something we need to get to on Exegol. It's more of we should maybe go and see.
Yeah.
So it's not oh my god, we're fucked if we don't find Exegol. It's more let's be careful. Oh, the trail's gone cold. What can you do? Lando, you stay here.
Right.
Forever. Well, I feel like Lando decided to just stay there. Lando was probably getting some hot poontang from those weird anteater looking
peoples.
Yeah.
So it's like that weird thing where there could be a case made where didn't know what was happening, but also there's a real chance that he knew everything.
Yeah, there's an equally strong case saying that he knew Palpatine was on Exegol.
And this leads me to one of my points I want to make right now, is if you go at Rian Johnson for looting Luke, you're wrong. JJ is the reason everybody, if you have a problem with how Luke's been treated in these movies, everything goes back to JJ. JJ put him on the island, and then Rian Johnson gives me, why was he on the island? Makes a good story, makes a good character in my opinion. Of why he was on that. Moment of weakness. Made the same mistake he almost did earlier in the episode,
in episode 6.
When he almost kills Vader. Happens. But then to go into hiding, where JJ put him in, the way JJ tries to explain why he went into hiding, puts information out there where he might have known
about Palp
and still went into hiding, or knew he was looking for Exegol. So obviously, how much does he know about Exegol? Obviously, if he's looking for Exegol, it can't be for good reasons.
No, yeah. Well, because it's in one of the ancient texts, because that's what Rey was looking at when she said Luke had notes about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's definitely not looking for it's not like he just wants to take a fucking field trip there.
Yeah. So no matter what, him going into hiding is on JJ. And the way he explains it, either way, it's probably not the... Do you think Luke, even though that happened, whatever, blah, 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 him going into hiding, do you like that?
In general, I do. Because like I said a little bit ago, it makes him feel more real. It makes him feel more like a person rather than a
deity.
Like he says in Last Jedi, because he failed because he was Luke Skywalker, a legend.
Mm-hmm. And no matter how you turn it, though, it's JJ.
Yeah, what else would Luke be on the island for?
Right?
For all that time. The thing is that they say in The Force Awakens...
And either way, he went on the island knowing bad was out there. No matter what.
But I get it more...
Which is fine. But if you're gonna say that ruined Luke's character, that's JJ. Everything goes back to JJ. The point I'm trying to make here is stop blaming Rian Johnson.
See, my thing is that him going into hiding because of Snoke and Ben, I understand to a degree. He probably underestimated Snoke. But for him to go into hiding while Palpatine is around, and if he knew about... Of course, if he didn't know Palpatine was around, I still get him going into hiding.
Yeah, but it's still not a good look for him as the Luke... But I get it. It's good character.
But we like it better.
Story, yes. But stop blaming Rian Johnson.
But if he went into hiding and Palpatine... And he knew Palpatine was around, he dealt with Palpatine firsthand. He knows how dangerous he is. How dangerous... And how vile Palpatine is. He's met him face to face, and if Luke went into hiding,
almost killed him.
Yeah, literally,
probably would have killed him if it wasn't for Vader.
Oh, 100%.
Or Anakin, not for Vader, for Anakin.
Yeah, for Anakin. Palp literally was going to kill him within minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Luke could do nothing. He knows how powerful Palpatine is, and just is like, Leia's got it, I guess.
Mm.
So that's the thing is that if. Like, I don't have a problem with him going into hiding.
Oh, neither do I.
If he knows about Palp, though, then I have a problem with him going into hiding, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is...
yeah.
That is a big deal for his character.
And it's all JJ.
And because Palp's also the one who enslaved his father.
Right?
I get, revenge is not the Jedi way, but you're going to leave him out there to possibly get Ben? He's already in Snoke's hands, and Luke probably doesn't know Snoke is Palp. Mm-hmm. But, being like, well, he's under Snoke, but...
damning, Palpatine's out there. Oh, and there's another guy named Snoke.
Yeah, now there's two of them.
Oh, there's two of them, and I'm still gonna go to hiding.
And as far as Luke knows, it could possibly be Sith Master and Sith Apprentice. Mm-hmm. The rule of two.
No.
Training Kylo to overthrow Palp like they did with Vader.
Right.
Or like Vader tried to do.
In a way, it kind of was like that. Like, in a weird way.
From Luke's perspective, it could very well be that Snoke is Palpatine's apprentice, and Snoke is training Kylo like Vader wanted to train Luke to overthrow Palp.
Yeah.
And Luke just goes into hiding.
Oh, it's very.
We need a lengthy book about Luke and Lando hunting Exegol.
Because to add on top of this, which we haven't mentioned, apparently Luke and Leia know Rey's a Palpatine. That line's just thrown in there for some reason. I don't know when they found out or if they've known since Rey showed up. But either way, it feels like information that them knowing only hurts the plot and the story and the characters more than it helps.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I think what the theory that I've seen going around as to how they knew is that...
But because it had to be... If it's after... Like...
Well, hold on. Let me explain the theory. It explains probably what you're about to ask. Okay. The theory that I read is that it is... it's that they can sense... It's like a familiar presence sort of thing. Where Rey sort of has that aura of Palpatine in a way. She's not inherently evil, but you can feel the same, like...
Yeah.
You know, it's like seeing someone who looks like their father or something, but in the Force. Their, like, Force signature is the same. So the theory...
But to be fair, like, in The Last Jedi, she's like... Luke's very like, who are you? Because maybe he feels something. Well, no, he's cut off from the Force, so he doesn't feel shit.
That's part of the theory, is that the reason why Luke is so genuine in being like, who the hell are you?
No, but I was thinking that could work in his favor, because if he was connected to the Force and he felt the presence, like, who are you?
Well, that's what people are saying is that he slowly started to reconnect himself while he was training her. And that's why, you know, but
when she showed up, I don't think she would have started reconnecting himself in that moment.
No, but it's after he sees her go right to the dark.
Yeah.
Is the theory. When he sees her go right to the dark, he sort of, like, reconnects a little bit and then can sense her as a Palpatine. And then when he sees her connecting to Ben and tells her to leave the island because he knows how powerful she is and that she's a Palpatine at that point.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. Leia, because she never cut herself off from the Force. She just sensed it right away. But they both had the same logic where they felt the darkness, but they knew that she was a good person underneath it. And just telling her that she's a Palpatine would really fuck her up. Would make her go straight to Ben in that case.
But I also think the idea of Luke being connected to the Force and asking those questions also makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Like, feeling it or helps more.
Yeah, for sure. If they knew that she was a Palpatine before that, then I'm really confused.
Yeah.
There's no way Luke knew.
Unless he knew Palpatine was around.
Well, even then, he wouldn't question who she is when she shows up.
But wasn't he kind of looking for her?
Luke?
Yeah.
No, he was looking...
The guy on Exegol was the one who took Rey.
No, they were hunting Exegol, not Rey.
1 sec. Can you pause?
Oh, okay.
Okay, they were hunting Exegol.
Yes.
But the ship they were found Exegol was the guy who killed Rey's parents.
Yes.
And that was the ship she got brought to on Jakku.
Yes.
So was she already on Jakku at this point, or?
Because if he's on Pisana and dead, he had to have already killed Rey's parents, and she was already left on Jakku.
You're right.
He was probably on Pisana looking for Rey, actually, because Palp wanted her back.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
So he was probably just scouring for her and landed in the sinkhole.
Yeah.
And died.
But yeah, this could be some pretty... You agree with me, though, with the J.J. Ryan thing? Rian Johnson should get no blame for any problems people have with Luke.
Well,
maybe throwing the lightsaber away.
Yeah,
even though I don't think it's that bad. But...
See, that's the thing is that we both like the new Luke better.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to, like, say one way or the other.
But, I don't think you should blame Rian Johnson. I think all the problems that people have with Luke, which we don't have, is we like Luke's arc. Except if this is potentially damning stuff we're talking about here. But
once Palp is involved, you kind of get a little muddy with Luke.
Yeah, which this is definitely something Luke wouldn't do, go into hiding when Palp was around.
Not with Palp, no.
That's why it's interesting. You gotta assume we're gonna get like a book or a comic or a show that explores this.
We'll get something with Luke and Lando hunting Exegol, I bet.
Probably a comic for that.
Yeah.
And then a book, if not more, for Palpatine.
Yes. And I want stories about Rey's dad.
I want stories about Rey's parents. I want to know about both of them.
True, but I'm sure the mom is just a normal lady that her dad fell in love with.
No, we gotta figure out stories about who Palpatine fucked.
That's what I want to know more than anything. Who put out for Palpatine?
Right.
Hashtag who put out for Palpatine.
Get it going.
Get it going. Like that, I feel like that. I know, in a galaxy of, trillions, literal trillions, not billions, trillions of people, someone is aroused by Palpatine.
Yeah,
But I want to know who this woman is.
Right? I do believe that there is somebody for everybody, like that whole thing. So I'm sure there's someone out there who was like, Palpatine's my guy.
Probably someone like super sadistic, just like him.
What if it's Mara Jade? Boom.
That's so gross.
Boom.
She's like 50 years younger than he is.
You think it's some old ass lady who's like, yeah, probably. You have to be young to have a kid.
Not in Star Wars.
Maybe maybe she was forced to, so like her parts or the baby making parts. Because as humans, at a certain point, it's harder to make.
No, absolutely.
Kids.
But this is also a sci-fi fantasy realm.
And
with
if
magic.
she's force sensitive, that makes sense if she's really old.
Yeah. Well, also, or just really good technology.
Yeah.
Or transplants.
Yeah, I want to know more about Rey's parents.
You kidding me? You think if Palp had a baby mama, he would give her literally everything. Yeah. the finest technology to ensure that she can still bear children for him. Because I absolutely
they probably just put it in the back of the tank and like just let it simmer for like 9 months.
I also find the idea, because I also do kind of get the logic, like, well, my whole Anakin plan didn't work to make me a successor. I guess no one can be stronger than me. Oh, I'll just have a kid.
Right.
I get the logic, but like, damn, that came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, because Palp has always been mysterious. He hides things from literally everyone. Like, I'm sure he knew about the Sith Eternal since Phantom Menace. But no one else knew. Maul didn't know, Dooku didn't know, Vader didn't know. Well, Vader might have known, because he had a Wayfinder to Exegol.
I have a theory.
Uh-oh.
I hate it. It's a theory.
Oh, no.
Do you know who Rey's grandma is? Grandpa Palpatine. Grandma. I hate it. I hate I'm about to say this. Kira.
I don't like.
Timeline-wise, makes sense.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Wait, she was going to Maul, not Palpatine.
So maybe she got tied into the Sith, probably. We don't know if she's forced.
Palp didn't know where Maul was.
I'm just saying, maybe the reason Maul's thing fell apart is because she turned him over to Palpatine, and he had to
run away to the planet they found him on in Rebels.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm just saying.
And then she fell in love with Palpatine.
I hope not, because Amelia Clark wouldn't do that.
They're not going to do her getting impregnated by Palpatine in any way that's not consensual.
Well, obviously it was consensual. I don't like that theory. It's just the theory. Maybe it was I like Kira.
Well, because the one thing we notice is that it has to be a human.
Because
the dad looks normal.
And then Rey's normal.
And then Rey's normal.
And her mom's clearly normal. So
it's not like a Twi'lek, because we've seen Twi'lek human hybrids have splotches on them and they look really weird.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Unless those kids were just deformed.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if she just took her mom's last name? It's like, I'm rejecting Palpatine, but I'm going to take my mom's last name.
She doesn't know it.
So, I'm sure they could figure it out.
Well, I'm sure in order to evade Palpatine, the mom and dad went into Omega hiding and no one knew who they were.
Yeah, because the race...
Palp has people everywhere.
I'm sure they know what her last name is. I see it, but I don't hate it, but I don't love Rey Skywalker.
I don't like it.
I will never refer to her as Rey. I will just be Rey.
Yeah.
Or be Rey, whatever your mom's last name is.
I like the thing. It was another thing I read online. What I would have loved so much more is that when the old woman asks her, "Who are you? What's your family name?" If she would have, instead of
I'm Rey from the Resistance.
Instead of sorrowfully saying just Rey like she normally does, when she's like, "Oh, it's just Rey," all sad. It would have been more hopeful. No, it's just Rey.
Just Rey. Yeah. But it's we got Yoda. We got Kira.
She should have.
Why does her last name matter so much?
She should have just said just Rey, but in a happy light rather than a negative light, because it would have been the completion of her arc of trying to find a family and then realizing that found family is more important to her.
She should have done. She'd been like, "What's your family name?" Rey. I'm Rey, and then drooped. Because remember, Fortnite is canon in Star Wars.
I'm gonna quit the podcast, so I'll see you later.
Talk about odd choices. Fortnite being canon,
It's not canon.
We hear
what?
We exclusively get plot from Star Wars, and the one method we get that plot is through Fortnite.
So you're saying the holiday special is canon? Because Life Day is canon, and the only thing we've seen it mentioned on our scene is the Christmas special.
Yes.
Okay. Christmas special is 100%
Boba Fett.
canon.
Yeah,
confirmed.
of course it is. Lumpy. They're all canon.
Mala.
Everything that happens in the Christmas special is canon except the plot.
No, the plot is canon too, because if it's canon, its plot has to be canon. And the only place we've seen Life Day, which is a piece of canon, is in
That's fine
the
with me.
Christmas special.
I've never
so the
seen
Christmas
it.
special is canon.
I'm not personally offended by the Christmas special. I don't even know what the plot of the Christmas special
I'm personally offended by Wookiees wearing clothes.
Yes.
And that's in the Christmas special.
I'm personally offended by the only way we got the transmission that heard the only place we've heard it was in Fortnite, which means Fortnite is a world in Star Wars.
That's not what that means at all!
How else can you explain it?
Things can be... Oh my god. Just because we don't see it in a movie doesn't mean it's not canon.
No, it is canon, but we received that canon information through that source, which makes that source canon.
So Rey's been to the Fortnite world then?
Yes. Fortnite's a world in Star Wars.
I shouldn't be leaning back, but you're making me in so much pain.
I know. It's just I don't honestly believe anything I'm saying there, but also I think it's possibly true, which is also damning to the Star Wars universe. We're not going to talk about that.
That's worse than what George Lucas could have ever done.
Right. But that race skin in Fortnite, shout out.
Anyway,
what else? Anything else you want to retouch on in the last? I'm almost at the last Jedi, and the Rise of Skywalker. I think we covered.
We've covered pretty much any massive things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this movie for months.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So I think it's time.
If we have any more issues, like pressing issues that come up later with this movie that we forgot to mention here, we'll just talk about it in a future episode.
So we'll end our Rise of Skywalker conversation with a new thing we're going to do every episode, where we take the visual dictionary of Rise of Skywalker, go to a random page, and discuss it.
Yes.
We'll discuss the 2 pages that are open.
Maybe we'll land on the 1/4 page that Rose gets.
So, we need to write these down so we don't repeat. Or we'll probably remember if we repeat. But
if we repeat, we'll remember what's on the page until later.
Yes. I bought this because I was seeing a lot of useful information was coming out of it. Haven't read it. But we'll just go page by page.
We're reading it now.
Okay. Tell me when to stop.
Yes.
Okay, we're going here. Okay, we're going again. There's nothing on that page. There's just a picture.
We're talking about a picture this week, guys.
Okay, here we go. Resistance Starfighters.
Okay, I should know all of these.
Okay, what we got here?
A-Wings, X-Wings, Y-Wings.
Yes.
Why didn't they have Y-Wings in Last Jedi? Does it say why?
Why do you say? The Y-Wings and the Resistance are a mix of personally owned vessels and ships brought in the defense forces of sympathetic systems. They each look a little different as pilots have taken to modifying the craft to their preferences, including removing outer hull plates to differing degrees to have them reassemble the hot-rodded craft of the Rebel Alliance. This may prove a challenge to Resistance tacticians who have to account for varying degrees of performance and arraignment among the Y-Wings at their disposal. It also means that these crafts may prove a surprise to First-Order TIE pilots attempting to shoot them down. No, it really doesn't say anything about why.
I'm guessing it's just they didn't get it until after. Like maybe Akbar's kid brought them or something.
Mm-hmm. I love how it's just like the data file and it says all of them are affiliated with Resistance, even though they're affiliated with way more than Resistance.
Well, no, because these are newer models, except for the Y-Wing.
What's the difference? I don't...
The Resistance X-Wing has the...
That opens more?
No. You see how the engine is like a semicircle?
Yeah.
When it pushed together, it's just one circle. Mm-hmm. Normal X-Wings have the 4 cylinders, so it's like 4 engines.
Oh, okay. So...
And then Resistance X-Wings, the nose is a lot slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, the Resistances, I think they're... T-70s, and the Rebellion were T-65s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong there, don't quote me on it. If I'm wrong, there will be 1,000 comments saying it.
1,000, you're
like
fun.
we get comments at all. But the, yeah, it's basically just sleeker, slimmer, and then the engines look way different, and better weapons. The A-Wings are... They look different, but I can't remember exactly how.
Okay, Dan, some trivia for you. Which one of these, the X-Wing, the A-Wing, or the Y-Wing, can hold the most crew?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, Y-Wing.
1 pilot and 1 astromech.
I thought the Y-Wings had a gunner. Oh, no, those were Clone Wars era ones.
So it's the X-Wing and the Y-Wing can both hold 2, while the A-Wings can only just hold the pilot.
Okay. I thought Y-Wings always had a gunner. I guess those are just the Clone Wars ones. Because those ones definitely had gunners.
Which one? What is your favorite of these 3? A-Wing, X-Wing, or Y-Wing?
I'm a sucker for for Resistance era, I really like their sleek X-Wings.
Right.
If it was like Rebel era, because they're all the same model ships, just they look a little bit different, it'd be Y-Wing, because I really like the Y-Wings. But I just love the sleekness of the Resistance X-Wing, because it's so, like, slim.
Yeah, Pose looks really cool.
Yeah, I really like the Resistance X-Wings. I think that redesign is really good, despite the fact that I would have wished they used new ships.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the design changes, personally. Personally. What?
I like the A-Wing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it because that's the ship that Tally Lynch
shout out to Tally Lynch. Yeah, okay. I think that's good enough for this.
Yeah, there's not too much.
Things, okay.
Wings. I wish there was a B-Wing.
Yeah. Oh, we almost missed this legend. We'll get to them another time, though.
I'm a big fan of B-Wings. Shout out to B-Wing fans.
Shout out to B-Wings.
That's the one Hera flew in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, spins. That one's really cool.
The ghost? No.
No, when she was test flying one.
Yeah.
In the canyons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one crazy guy was making them or some shit. I don't remember the plot. I just remember she flew it.
Yeah. Okay, now for our main topic of the show, which apparently probably will last less time.
An hour and 15 minutes in.
Well, we're going to talk about 2020 Star Wars. What to look forward to in the future, what's coming out, what we're excited for, and just talk about what we want, or like what we're excited for and what we think, and
what we want to see
and what
within these new things arriving within this year.
Yes, I gotta find the document where I have the list of everything.
Now that we're finally out of the 2010s.
Yeah, it was weird. The other day I had to actually write a date for the first time in like a decade. Not really. But I had to write a date out, and I'm like, whatever. I almost went to 19. I'm like, oh shit, it's 20.
You're like, oh fuck, I can't just erase the last number. I have to do the 1, 2.
This one's weird. I don't get it. Okay, Dan. Of everything coming out in 2020, should we go over everything first? What's coming out in 2020?
Yes, because I don't know everything off the top of my head. I just know the 2 shows.
Okay, we got the things we got in 2020 for sure. Guaranteed. Mandalorian Season 2. Clone Wars Season 7. Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga,
Ooh,
the video game.
That's going to be hype.
Star Wars Celebration. We got and then books and comics wise, we got the new Thrawn, first book of the new Thrawn trilogy, Ascendancy, Chaos Rising. We got the Rise of Skywalker extended edition, which might be very helpful for understanding a lot of things that happened. We got Queen's Peril, which is the prequel, which is odd to me, to Queen's Shadow, which is the Padme book, which neither of us have read, but I own it. And then Shadowfall, which is a book which is a prequel or a sequel to Alphabet Squadron. And then we got comics-wise, we got the Star Wars main comics are getting a reboot.
So are the other ones not canon anymore?
I don't know. I think they're just restarting the line or changing just starting a new story.
Oh, so are the other ones? I don't like what. Does that mean Yeah, I don't know. Are the other ones not canon anymore?
No, yeah. Why wouldn't they be canon? I think they take place in a different time.
Oh.
I think it's between.
Well, the term reboot I usually associate with like, oh, okay, so everything that came before this is not canon.
No,
anymore.
the line's still called Star Wars, but it takes place somewhere else. Like they ended that story, and then I think they're going from between 4 and 5 to between 5 and 6.
Mm.
And then we're getting a new reboot on Dr. Aphra, which I assume is the same thing, just different time period. And then
later or earlier.
And then Bounty Hunter comic. I don't know much about that. There's a Bounty Hunters comic line, and then Project Luminous, which I'm actually most interested about. Not of everything, but like, remember the book panel at Celebration when they talking about it?
I don't remember what it was about.
It's just like a big project where they're telling a story between books and comics and everything. It's like a new big story that they're going to be telling through both the mediums, and that all connect to each other.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't remember hearing about that at all.
And then, obviously, we have Cassian and Obi-Wan shows, but I don't think either of those are going to hit 2020.
Yeah.
Cassian, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
And then we have the rumored, hot-rumored, Rebels sequel series that's supposed to premiere in 2020.
That's supposed to premiere this year? Oh, yeah,
that was the rumor.
That was the rumor. Seems weird that it wouldn't have been announced if it's going to premiere this year.
Yeah. If it premieres, it won't be till like November anyway. Or October.
That's true. Interesting.
Yes. So what of those are you most excited for?
It's a toss-up between Mando Season 2 and Clone Wars Season 7.
Mine, Star Wars Celebration.
True.
Mainly this will give you information on all this and more.
True.
That's what I'm most hyped for in 2020 in Star Wars. But yeah, obviously the TV shows are the big ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm excited. We're both very excited for... was Mandalorian Season 1. Very good. Some may say Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau should run Star Wars. Those people would be right.
Those people would be me.
Mm-hmm.
Make them in charge of creative.
Yep. And then, of course, Clone Wars, we're going to get
Ahsoka,
Maul.
Ahsoka versus Maul with motion captured Ray Park.
Dathomir stuff.
That's just awesome.
Yeah, so...
Are they going to Dathomir?
Isn't it... Are we going to get the Dathomir thing?
No, it's,
Or Mandalore.
Yeah, Mandalore.
I don't know why I said
you got
Dathomir.
it mixed up.
Yeah, the Siege of Mandalore. I don't know why I was thinking Siege of Dathomir.
We already saw the Siege of Dathomir. That was when Grievous just killed all of them. The one thing they let Grievous do.
Oh, man. Crazy. And also...
So condescending.
Yeah, so... Not a lot in 2020, though.
But still not like, it's not like nothing.
We really need to get caught up on the books and the comics. Especially if we're going to do a Star Wars podcast.
I have the Darth Maul comic that's canon, the Son of Dathomir Darth Maul comic, and then I have one of the Master and Apprentice comics, and then I have the Lords of the Sith book. I got all that for Christmas in preparation.
The Star Wars books that I haven't read are Bloodlines, Rebel Rising, Queen's Shadow, the solo novelization, 2 Thrawn books, Master and Apprentice. Wait, did you get that book? The Obi-Wan Qui-Gon book? Yours is the comic with Anakin and Obi-Wan. And then I got Lost Stars, and I got all the Age of Resistance comics that I haven't read yet. I have a lot of Star Wars content that I haven't read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when it's reading, it's just a lot harder for us.
Yeah, I've only read 4 novels of the Star Wars new canon.
I listened to half of an audiobook for Lords of the Sith, and then the video got deleted off YouTube.
I wonder why.
Probably because it was copyright infringement.
But, yeah.
Listen.
I don't even know what books I read. I have the Phasma book, too. I need to read that.
I thought you did read that.
No, I've only read Inferno Squad, which was really good. The Ahsoka book, which was really good. I have the Bayesian Troop book, but it's for, like, middle school kids. I read that. That was alright. And then the Leia book, Princess of Alderaan, which is really good. All of them are really good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know the people who are into the books really like a lot of them.
I started to read Lost Stars.
Isn't that the romance one?
Yeah. And then I only read like a few pages. I'm like, I never got back to it. Same with Bloodline. I started reading Bloodline, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really need to commit to one and just read it. Because I bought the new Resistance one, too. The Resistance Reborn.
I'm going to actually read Lords of the Sith.
Yeah, I have that one, too. I haven't touched it.
That's the only book I have, so that's the one I'm reading first. And then the comics, obviously, I'm going to read through.
And I have some comics and comic geology I really want to catch up on. I got the Poe run, the end of the first Vader run. Because I read the first 3 volumes. I haven't read the 4th volume. The first 2 volumes in the new Vader run. Actually, I think that last time I got on there, I had the whole Vader run able to use, so... And I really want to read the new Kylo one that's out now.
Yeah, the
2 of them.
Yeah.
2. It was only 4 issues, right?
I don't know exactly how many issues, but I want to read it too.
Ben!
Yeah.
Honestly, though, but if the thing I'm really hyped for actually happens is the Rebels sequel show.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Rebels is my favorite piece of Star Wars, period.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's up there for me.
And I just want more of Sabine and Ahsoka. Go look for Ezra, baby. Let's go find this clown. Get some more Thrawn going. You know,
them having to work together. To
realizing that they're not Snoke. So sad.
I mean, it still could be that they're Snoke.
But Palpatine found them and fused them together to make Snoke.
And then made the little bodies of Snoke we saw in the jar on Exegol from them as well.
Oh, that'd be funny. But yeah.
You know what I want to know?
What?
Why didn't Palpatine use another clone army?
Do we know for sure that the Sith Troopers aren't clones?
True. But I just mean with like the First Order troopers.
No.
That's how you get Finns to happen.
But did he make the First Order army?
If they were clone boys, they'd be loyal. Well, Hux did, but Snoke/Palpatine is still the one that employed them.
Yeah.
Like Kylo has that line in Force Awakens. Perhaps Leader Snoke should have used a clone army.
Well, obviously they should have.
Clone boys would.
Otherwise, Finn wouldn't have left.
I think there's some story explaining why they stopped using clones and why they don't use clones anymore. And I think it's just because Palpatine hated the Kaminoans.
That makes sense.
He do be petty like that.
Oh,
Hella
he seems
petty.
very petty.
He seems like the type that would destroy your entire planet for one transgression.
Right. So,
like the time he attacked Maul on Mandalore just because Maul got a little bit too strong. I was like, well, fuck it. You're big enough to be on my radar, so now you gotta die.
Okay, let's talk about Mandalorian Season 2.
Yes.
What are you excited to see? I'm really excited to see... I just hope we get new characters. Not new characters, returning characters.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan. How did she lose the Darksaber?
Some, like, connection.
Sabine, Ahsoka.
Mandalorian Season 1 spoilers.
Well, obviously. Full spoilers. You're watching a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah.
Full spoilers.
Yeah. Full spoilers. Yeah, I want to see Bo-Katan. I just want to see a lot of the characters.
And I'm excited to see...
people.
Obviously, we're going to start seeing Jedi soon. We gotta bring Baby Yoda home.
Yeah.
This is the way.
He could find Luke. He could find Luke's school.
That would really be damning. Finds Luke, gives him Baby Yoda, still runs into hiding. No. No.
Well, I doubt... I bet it'll be if the Mando finds them.
Obviously, if anyone wasn't hiding, it was Baby Yoda.
Well,
he's obviously not a part of it. Obviously, he's important
also,
to the future.
I could see it being the Mando takes Baby Yoda to them and then doesn't trust them, so keeps Baby Yoda.
That's too much of a... No, because that's not the way. Remember the whole thing where he's like, my enemies, our enemies, we have to return them to our enemies, or whatever. You know, even though they might end up being our enemy, and then if they're our enemy, we have to defeat them. This is the way.
We've already seen him going against orders for Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but that was the Empire. Nobody likes the Empire.
But the Jedi kind of suck.
Yeah, but they didn't kill everybody. They didn't purge the Mandalorians.
Yeah, but they still kind of suck. I'm just saying I can see that as a real possibility.
I think it's just a rehash of the same story they just told. Why would they do that? I just think it's repetitive and be dumb.
Well, I think that's how it would end, is like they go into like hiding.
No, Mandalorian doesn't go into hiding.
To protect Baby Yoda.
That is not the way. This is the way, Dan.
Or they go and just live on Mandalore. Rebuild. With Baby Yoda in Mandalorian armor.
What I do want to see, though, we won't see in Mandalorian. I want to see the Battle of Thousand Tears or whatever.
Yeah.
The Night Over Thousand Tears, whatever it's called.
That'd be metal.
The name's metal, so it has to be metal.
Well, that and it's a Mandalorian purge, however the fuck they accomplish that shit.
Right.
Mandalorians are renowned badasses. How the fuck do you destroy it? Like, I have to imagine they had they fixed the, like, weapon that Sabine made. The, like, evaporated Mandalorians.
What? They just looked like they were... Well, yeah, probably.
Like, how... Like, because the Mandalorians are legendary.
When did the purge happen, though?
Well, after that...
After... Yeah.
After Bo-Katan got the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, because, like, I was thinking of when I was thinking when he got saved that I'm like but that was them saving him.
Yeah,
so.
that was in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It had to have been. It had to have been probably near the end of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
All things considered. Which maybe
because
although I guess they could have also utilized, because I'm sure Bo-Katan went into like a civil war with the Mandalorians that were loyal to the Empire, so maybe that weakened the planet enough for them to be invaded.
Mm-hmm. You gotta assume Sabine was around for that though, right?
Unless she didn't hear about it because she was in the unknown regions looking for Ezra.
But they don't go searching until the end of 6.
Oh, true. Yeah, they don't.
Because Ahsoka doesn't show up until after 6, so...
True.
I assume maybe that's why she wasn't able to search for Ahsoka, because obviously that's not something Hera could do now with a child, and Zeb was doing his thing, and then Kanan gone, Ezra gone with Thrawn, and...
Yeah.
Maybe she was... You gotta assume she was part of that.
But she said...
Not that battle, but like...
But
she was probably still big with the Mandos or doing something. I don't know.
But I remember
I don't know what she was possibly doing.
In the finale, she said she stayed on Lothal.
Yeah.
She stayed there for like security or something.
Or maybe to hope that if Ezra would return, he'd find them there. Yeah, interesting.
Maybe she helped them tactically. Like information-wise, not so much frontline war. Like, oh, I gotta stay here in case Ezra comes back, but I can still help you plan.
Yeah, I built things that killed Mandalorians. I got you.
Yeah,
I can build things to protect them.
Yeah.
Reverse engineer that shit, baby.
Because if there's one thing we know about the Imperial Army, they're not very good, so them beating the Mandalorians I really want to see. Mm-hmm. It has to be like Bo-Katan weakened them enough through their civil war. Mm-hmm. But there just wasn't enough of them to handle just this sea of stormtroopers that came running in. Well, that and Gideon seems pretty competent.
Gideon Hask?
Or, no, Gideon.
No. He's the Battlefront guy. Gideon, what's the...
Moff Gideon?
Moff Gideon.
He seemed pretty competent.
Well, yeah, he had a Darksaber. And he survived a plane crash, you know.
A plane crash. And he's Gustavo Fring.
Sure.
From Breaking
Whatever
Bad.
helps you sleep at night.
So I'm sure he was a good leader that helped the incompetent stormtroopers conquer Mandalore.
Well, he has to have a good leader if he's the leader, if he's the wielder of a Darksaber.
Yeah. Or it's like an Agent Kala situation where he's just the one who killed, like, he killed Bo-Katan and took it.
He's just super
I feel like we'll see, like, Bo-Katan survive, but it's, like, fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hopefully
probably.
it doesn't stutter when my screen turns off.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
My old laptop, the screen would darken for a second before it turns off. This one, the screen just goes right to black.
Fade to black.
Yeah. Because I feel like she'll, like, show up and she'll, like, be missing an arm or something.
Yeah. Either way, super excited for Season 2.
Yeah.
Now, Season 7 of Clone Wars, on the other hand, mere weeks away.
Yes.
Ahsoka Tano will be back in our lives, and it'll be a good time. Some may say Ahsoka lives.
Some do, in fact, say that.
I'm just really excited to see her and Maul fight.
Yeah.
And just everything. See more Clone Wars. See more Dave Filoni being a god that he is.
Being a god among men.
Like, just being the best storyteller alive, you know?
I can't wait for that. That'll be so
I can't wait for
amazing
until we get the first Dave Filoni picture, you know, on the big screen. Because he's the one that can say I make pictures. Because Dave Filoni, he's an artist. You know?
A true legend.
True legend. Even though the least interesting episode of Clone Wars, I mean, Mandalorian was the one he directed. But it wasn't bad. But it was a very Filoni episode. Episode 5.
Yeah. Well, once you said the only...
That wasn't bad. It was just the least interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, honestly, the thing I'm most excited for... like Star Wars Celebration. That's the most exciting Star Wars thing that's happening this year. Because we're actually going.
Yes.
Anaheim, baby. We're going to get probably Obi-Wan stuff, Mandalorian stuff. If the new Rebels sequel show is real, that stuff. Hopefully we get news on the new films.
Yes. Hopefully.
And who's running them, hopefully. It's our boy Ryan Johnson, because... Ryan Johnson just only makes good movies that make money, you know? And that's what Disney likes, movies that make money.
Yeah.
Every movie he's made had a low budget and banked in the box office. So.
Directed by Rian Johnson, story by Dave Filoni.
A picture by David.
A picture.
But yeah.
Yeah.
2020 slow year. Hopefully we can find stuff to talk about every week.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not repetitive.
Oh, I'm sure. But we also have a lot of old content we haven't covered, and
yeah.
There's always lots to talk about in the galaxy.
And we might even talk about Game of Thrones one week, just for fun, you know.
Just
Welcome to the Star Wars podcast. Which Game of Thrones character should be in a Star Wars movie? And the answer is all of them.
All of them?
All the actors.
Walder Frey.
He was in Harry Potter, he was in Game of Thrones. Put him in Star Wars. Come on.
Is he still alive?
I hope so.
Well, he looked the same in both Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. And that was
like a decade apart.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm sure he's still around, and he still probably looks exactly the same.
Right.
Argus Filch.
What a weirdo. Fucking Walder.
I want to see him as a Jedi running like he did in Harry Potter, where he like had the one knee going really high. That'd be hilarious. And then he just does like a flip and swings at someone.
Yeah.
Now, if he was in Star Wars, he'd be exactly the same as Walder Frey. Minus the
incest.
Yeah, minus the incest.
Minus him being the biggest incel in the world.
But he's not. He physically can't be an incel. He's not celibate.
Yeah.
He's just keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Both figuratively and literally. That's gross.
Star Wars, man. Walder Frey.
I really hope this is all audible.
Why? Am I really low?
No, the Audacity wavelength is like really low for like 80% of this.
I think it's fine.
Well, if not, turn up your fucking speakers.
Right.
New computer, working out the kinks.
Yeah. So.
Not the same settings.
2020 should be all right.
Should be
big time.
Should be
Obviously,
fine.
we'll be talking about a lot of stuff, but I feel
like this is the setup year. Like, they'll announce a bunch of, like you said,
oh, yeah.
We'll get a lot of new, like...
Because they want to take a break probably after.
Yes.
Because we just got flooded with stuff the last month.
Yes.
Literally everything. But, yeah, I think that's it for today's episode, Dan.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else.
2020 is exciting. We'll obviously be doing content about all this stuff. Hopefully. Not as much books and comics because we got to get caught up. We'll probably do stuff on the older stuff first.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But definitely Clone Wars Season 7...
Probably not Mandalorian Season 2 because fuck it, you know, I don't want to watch it.
Oh, yeah, you
yeah.
Well, by then it also might be, like, near December again, so...
And by then we might just be like, fuck, we probably should stop doing the podcast because this ain't working.
No. Don't say it on air.
No! But yeah, this has been episode 13 of the Holocron-Cast. Like, subscribe, share, go to Twitter. You can see our shitty Ben Solo challenge we did. It's a good time.
Comment.
You can physically see us if you want to. And comment, like, subscribe yet. And may the Force be with you.
Yay!
Always.